Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas. That's right, that's where we're headed this weekend. NASCAR Analytical expert Ryan Stevens from WinTheRace.info stops by today. We talk Chase Elliott, Alex Bowman. Could this be a great opportunity for them to snap winless streaks? Shane van Gisbergen is back. Could AJ Allmendinger play spoiler? Let's take a deep dive into the numbers and preview this weekend's Cup race at COTA. I'm now joined once again by Ryan Stevens from WinTheRace.info. Ryan, it's great to have you here. We're finally heading to a road course for the first time this season. Looking at the numbers, 6 different winners at the 6 different road course races last year. Stage cautions are back this time around. A lot of drivers, I'm sure, viewing this race at COTA as a great opportunity to either contend for a win, make a playoff spot, or maybe just make up points in the stages. It's great to have you here. I guess let's start with that. The stage cautions returning are kind of a polarizing topic amongst most NASCAR fans, but from a fantasy perspective or a betting perspective or the way you make your picks and look for favorites, does it change your strategy at all?
I'm on the side of betting and playing DFS, things like that. I like no stage breaks just because it made everything a little more predictable.
Yeah.
I do totally understand the other side of it. I know, getting them back together makes the race a little more exciting for viewers. So I understand both sides of it. What's very hard to tell, this early in the season is what the driver strategies will be. Maybe someone like a Denny who, might be fast here, probably, maybe not fast enough to win, but just okay. Maybe some guys pit ahead of him, that are on a winning strategy and he's not, he stays out and gets some points and kind of just cushions his lead because he already has the win this year. There's things like that, but we go into it, we have no idea what their strategy is going to be. That's what makes it very hard.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be a fun race. I'm glad we're, to get another, I feel like we're not in the clear yet. We've had like these new packages. We've had a intermediate package, short track race. Now we have what the craziness at Bristol that we're going to a road course. It's like, it's always something new so far this year.
Yeah.
But it's been fun.
Yeah, every week has been fresh so far, the first month
Yeah.
of the season. I did hear Michael McDowell say recently that, he's planning on going for the win, and he's kind of frustrated because now he's going to have to forfeit stage points most likely, which, being kind of a bubble driver, he'd like to have both. He'd like to have stage points and have a shot at going for the win. So there's one driver at least who seems to be showing his hand a little bit early. We'll talk about Michael McDowell more in just a moment for sure. I want to start with a couple names I consider to be heavy favorites, at least in my opinion. I haven't looked at the odds, at least not today. But let's start with Tyler Reddick. If we exclude Chicago last year, it's kind of its own thing. Tyler Reddick has had 8 top 10s in the past 9 road course races. He's won 3 races in that span. And of course, he's the defending COTA winner. How are you feeling about Tyler Reddick this weekend?
I love Tyler Reddick. I mean, if you look at the last 2 years on the road courses, he's the only driver who's ran over 50% of his laps inside the top 5. The only one. So,
Wow.
and even last year, he wasn't as dominant, but he was at COTA, and he had to rock it at COTA last time. And even when he wasn't as dominant last year, he still had the best true average running position across all the road races. So, excluding Chicago, like we said. So, yeah, he's the rightful favorite. He's like 4 or 5 to 1 most places. If you like it, you can get it. I think it's a little thin. If he qualifies well and looks fast, I don't really know. The odds might go to 3 to 1, 4 to 1. So I'm just gonna wait and see. But yeah, he is the rightful favorite here.
Yeah, well, from one, the current driver of the 8 car, the previous driver of the 8 car to the current driver of the 8 car, I do want to talk about Kyle Busch as well. He's on kind of a cold streak here. He's had pit road problems, lack of speed handling the past couple weeks, but he was second at Circuit of the Americas last season, and he had 3 road course podium finishes in 2023, including a top 5, I believe, at Chicago. So how do you feel about Kyle Busch? Can he turn things around in Austin this weekend?
Man, he is the ultimate boom bust candidate. I mean, he is. So he has those 3 top 5 finishes last year on road courses, but overall, he only has 4 top 10 finishes in the 11 road races over the last 2 years.
Mm.
So he is, when he's there, yeah, he's up near the front. But if not, I mean, this team, what a polarizing team. And it's just weird. And then I didn't look to see if they changed their pit crew yet again, but if they did, that'd be 4 pit crew changes in 4 weeks. So they gotta get that going too, and get something down there so everyone can get in a rhythm. But yeah, he's a boom bust guy. I haven't placed any bets on him, but he's one that I'm going to watch thoroughly practice and qualifying. So
Absolutely. Yeah. And we know how important pit stops, pit crew, pit strategy can be at road course races. Even with the stage yellows, that's still an important strategy wrinkle. Track
yeah.
position matters a ton. Those are some favorites I'm looking at potentially, but I want to talk about a few drivers who may view the first road course race of the season as a great opportunity. I mentioned him a moment ago. Let's talk about Michael McDowell. Won the Indianapolis road course race last season to make the playoffs. He led laps at several road course races last season. What are your thoughts on Michael McDowell? Considering front row now, I guess, as a key Ford partner, Penske Alliance, could we expect McDowell to run up front, top five, contend for the win?
Yeah, I love McDowell on road courses. Only Tyler Reddick and Chase Elliott have ran inside the top 10 at a higher percentage than McDowell on the road courses over the last 2 years. So I mean, he's up there with both of the most elite names we have in the Cup Series on road courses. He's got the new alliance too, and he does look noticeably stronger most places this year. I mean, it does seem like they're bringing a fast car week in and week out. My only worry here is that the Penske Alliance, Penske hasn't really shown up at the road courses in this in the new over the last 2 years.
That's a good point.
But I don't know if that really matters for him. He's so good at these, and then you bring a faster car, potentially just give him a little boost. Yeah, I think he should be up there. I know Greg bet him to finish top 10 this week as well, so we do like him to be running up near the front.
Awesome. Definitely can find some numbers that you like on Michael McDowell. I want to talk about two Hendrick drivers. Alex Bowman, he hasn't won a NASCAR Cup Series race now in over 2 years, but he's been really strong at Circuit of the Americas in his career. He's been circling victory lane, trying to get in there. Third last season. I think he was second the year before that. How do you feel about Alex Bowman? And actually, while we're on the topic, let's talk Chase Elliott as well, who also is riding a bit of a winless streak and hasn't won a road course race in the next gen era, despite dominating road courses before then. Those two Hendrick drivers kind of flown under the radar the past year compared to their teammates. Do you think this could be the weekend Bowman or Elliott or both score top fives, contend for the win? What do you think?
Yeah, Bowman. I'll start with Bowman. He's interesting because he does seem like he's much better at COTA than the other road courses, and he's not bad at the other road courses. He's more often than not, he's a top 10 car. I do my true performance ranks, which kind of takes all the data NASCAR spits out, and I try to see how they truly performed, kind of take out incidents and things like that, and get a true speed for how they were during the race. He only had one top five true performance last year in a road course. It was a COTA, and that's what seems to be a theme. He's just very solid here. So yeah, he's one I definitely have my eyes on. We actually took a matchup, Bowman over Cindric. So we have bet that on win the race. So we do like Bowman this weekend. And then one thing that I liked about Chase Elliott, and we just mentioned it a second ago, are the pit crews. I do four tire pit stop ranks on win the race, and I try to weed out all the noise the best I can. But Chase Elliott right now, it actually goes HMS, 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 1, 2, 3. But Chase Elliott is number one.
Wow.
So, like you said, in a race where he could be running right up front, and you get that, you get a caution or you get one of the stage breaks or anything like that, he can jump a few guys or even one guy if he's running second, anything. That pit crew could help out tremendously here. Get that track position. And if Chase Elliott gets a clean air on a road course, look out. So, yeah, I'm definitely interested in Chase Elliott this weekend.
Yeah, that's a great point about the pit crew. Those Hendrick pit crews, very fast. So are the Joe Gibbs Racing pit crews. I want to talk about Ty Gibbs. Been a hot topic of conversation this year. 4 straight top tens. The sophomore driver close to getting his first career victory, perhaps. He is a good road course racer. Was top 10 last year at COTA as a rookie. Scored a few other top fives at road courses last season. Toyota's strong. Do you think that strength carries over to Circuit of the Americas?
Yeah, I think he's got some serious momentum going right now, and it started at the end of last year. He started bringing some serious speed, especially on these road courses. Last year, I had him top 13 in true performance at every road course, but I had him second best at the last two. So 2 in a row, second best car on a road course. Now he looks like he's bringing one of the fastest cars every single week. He gets some extra seat time this weekend, which I also like. I like when guys race, 2 races, just get to get out there and almost like a practice race before the big cup race. And I took this 15-1 when it opened this week. It's currently my only bet of a driver to win just because I really like the number. come Sunday, I probably will be on, one of the other favorites too, just to have a couple bets in there. But yeah, 15-1, I felt comfortable betting Ty Gibbs here. I really think if he does get a win this year, I think his best chance is on a road course.
That's a good, interesting point. I feel like what stands out to me was a race, I think 2 years ago. He was still 19 years old, but the poise Ty Gibbs showed at Road America in the Xfinity Series, one-on-one versus Kyle Larson in the closing laps, and he beat him cleanly straight up. And Larson's maybe not the best road course racer, but he's still Kyle Larson, and that stood out to me.
Yeah.
19 years old, Ty Gibbs, putting it to, at that point, I think the defending Cup Series champion. Before I let you go, Ryan, we got to talk about some of the road course specialists. AJ Allmendinger's in this race, but he's driving the Colleague number 13. He's been in contention to win here at COTA before. I think about a couple years ago, got into it with Ross Chastain. At the end, he's the most recent road course winner in the NASCAR Cup Series, going back to the Charlotte Roval last fall. So, what do you feel about? How do you feel about AJ Allmendinger perhaps going back to back in some way?
Um, there's an internal discussion about AJ amongst my team at Win the Race, and I'm on the side of taking him top 10 for minus 125. I really like AJ. I'm not too concerned with him going to the number 13 College car. Meanwhile, SVG's, getting prepped by Trackhouse or whatever. But AJ, has won in a College car on a road course. I mean, this is what he does. I think one thing that these tracks do is kind of even out the playing field a little bit. Obviously his talent on these is one thing. Go out there and try to outbreak a guy like AJ. It's tough to do, but you're only going, plus minus 90 miles per hour or whatever. It's not like, we're heading to Vegas and they're going to go 180 miles per hour and the College cars struggle to keep up. So I really like AJ. He's actually been up front in all three of the races. Some very fortunate, unfortunate results there. But if you look at his Xfinity Series races here too, he's finished second, first, and first his last three times out. He just loves this place, and obviously yeah, he wins most of the road courses in Xfinity, whatever. But it's good to see that he wins almost every time here. I mean, so I don't know. You kind of even out these cars. I don't mind him in a College car on a road course. Obviously, yeah, I think AJ can top 10 this week. If he contends for the win, that'd be pretty fun to watch. But top 10, I feel safe with.
There's a great chance we'll see two colleague teammates competing for the victory both on Saturday and Sunday. Allmendinger versus, you just said it, Shane van Gisbergen. He's back, his third Cup Series start. He won at Chicago last summer, finished 10th at the Indy Road Course, so he's got a career average finish of like 5th, 5.5. I did see a photo this weekend of the 16 car in the Trackhouse shop. So, like you just said, I think Trackhouse, they've obviously signed SVG. They're probably lending some support to this team, if not full support to this team this week. How do you feel about Shane van Gisbergen's opportunity? Because here's what I think. Chicago, everyone had seen that place for the first time, and there was rain. There were so many variables. It played into his hand, I think. Indianapolis, where everyone had a few races under their belt, he was still really good, but not great. COTA kind of falls into that Indianapolis category. The Cup Series has gone here for 3 years, two different generations of cars. Do you think Shane is a lock to be top 5, or do you think he's going to struggle to crack the top 10?
I what's interesting to me is that some books have him listed, almost as a favorite. He's up there around floating around
I
like
have
Chase
seen that.
Elliott's name as far as
Yeah.
the odds. And I understand, yeah, he had an absolute rocket at Chicago. But and even he finished what 10th at Indy. I had him as sixth best car in that race in the true performance ranks. So he was, to me, that's a very legit finish. So he is, good if not great. So I'm very curious to see where he finishes this week. I think one disadvantage he might have is I don't know what pit crew he has.
It's a good point.
So with the stage breaks or if something comes out like that, maybe he loses a few spots there, and if he loses track position, it'll be hard to get back. But yeah, I think he's safe for a top 10. But with his odds the way they are, there's just no way I could bet it. He'll be more fun for me to just watch as a fan. And it'd be cool if he could win again or something, but I can't bet it where it's at. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, the hype I think is deserved in many ways, but it is extremely high coming into this weekend. Not the best bang for your buck by any means. Last driver I want to talk about, Kamui Kobayashi, driving for 23XI. He'll be in the number 50 car, celebrating I think Mobile One's anniversary. This is only his second career NASCAR Cup Series start. Do you think he has any shot at a top 10? Are there any numbers out there that you like on Kobayashi?
Last year when we went to that race, he was like 60 or 70 to 1, and we were like, oh, 2311 car, like,
Mm-hmm.
someone who might be able to do this. So we threw a couple dollars on it or whatever, but very underwhelming performance. What I'm hoping is that they give him, it's hard with him because you don't know if they give him a car that just was lacking the overall speed and setup, or if he's just, it's a debut in that car on a road course, hard to drive, something he hasn't
Yeah.
done. So real curious to see where he is. Not anything I'm going to bet on, but again, just more fun to watch as a fan. It'll be really fun to watch as a fan if he is up there, maybe not contending for a win, but just running, 8th to 15th, something like that. Give him a nice competitive car and another fast car on the track. I'm always a fan of getting more talent and more fast cars in the track. No slow cars in the back. Everyone has a chance to win. Everyone battling. It just makes it more fun. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him too.
Hey, those battles up the hill into turn one at COTA will be dramatic. It's important to note that the Cup Series will get basically a full hour of practice this weekend, so that could help out some of these newcomers like an SVG, like a Kamui Kobayashi. Something to watch out for. Stay on your toes, keep your eyes peeled all weekend long as things change. Ryan Stevens, great stuff. Thank you so much for being on the show this morning. Wintherace.info. Have a wonderful rest of your week, man. Talk to you next time.
Thank you, you too. Good seeing you.
Thanks again to Ryan for being on the show. There are more great NASCAR stats and analytics available at wintherace.info. You can click the link down below. I'll catch you again later this week, folks. Have a wonderful rest of your day.